Hello, everyone. This is Kwame. We're live behind the tapestry, and today I have a very old friend of mine. We've known each other for like, I don't know, five years?
5 years, yeah.
Oh shit! Like we've known each other for like 5 years. One of the very most early people that gave me the opportunity, especially when I was trying to, build my craft and get things going. He was one of those people that gave me the chance to use him as a lab rat to get my things going. Brother, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having me, bro. Bro, I actually want to say you gave me the opportunity.
Come on. No.
In the sense, like, but before that, I don't have much confidence to like take pictures or anything like that. So the fact that we started, and I was like, yo, I get to flex on camera. Like, it was like a confidence booster. But then the pictures came out wicked too, which built the confidence, right?
Like I said, like, I didn't know what, sometimes when I didn't know what I was doing. Just come running, let's make this. So like, sometimes you have to fake it till you make it.
100%.
I had no idea what I was doing. Like, when I look back 5 years ago now, I'm like, wait, did I really think I knew what I was doing?
Yeah.
So how have you been since the last time that, when was the last time I think I saw it like 3 weeks ago. How have things been?
Things have been good, bro. We did like a physique competition. I think I met you 3-4 days before the show.
Before the competition.
We were recording some videos there. And we did well at the competition. Other than that, now I'm just bouncing back from the competition because like I'm in a phase where my body just wants to get really fat. It just wants to eat everything in sight. Yeah. So I have to like restrict myself a little bit still. Because I was starving for so long, right? But other than that, bro, it's good. Helping people get jacked. I'm trying to get jacked.
So before even we come to the competition stuff, I think the first time that I met you, you were still working in the bank, right? Yeah, when I met you, you were still working at the bank. And then I think I remember at that time you were trying to leave the bank to start to get to where you are right now. Yeah. So let's move back like maybe, was it 5 years ago? Let's move back 5 years ago. Like, how was life for you working in the bank?
Yeah. So, I'll clarify. I wasn't in a bank. I was in accounting. Accounting, but I was working at an industry in Guelph, Linamar. It was like a manufacturing company. They make car parts. So I did accounting, finance department for them. Life was much different. I was picturing in my head whatever I'm doing today while I was working there, right? But give you some context. I studied accounting in university. I did my CPA. I did like, then the whole CPA exam.
You did everything.
I did everything. And then I worked in accounting for like 2.5, 3 years.
Oh, shit.
Because I needed 30 months to actually qualify as a CPA. But I actually didn't end up qualifying. But anyways, that's a different story. But it was all accounting. And the thought process behind was that, yo, I'm brown, right? Okay, what are the paths I have? I have either be a doctor, either be an engineer, or be something in business or accounting, right? So I was like, okay, accounting has the most straightforward path. You study for 4 years, and then you get a job guaranteed because in recession or high times, everyone needs accounting,
you guys.
Right? So I was like, okay, sick. I went through that route, and it was just a strict 9-to-5 job. And I actually wanted that initially. But once I started working, I was like, bro, I'm going to do this for the next 70 years. Because it was the same shit. Like, it was just like you get up 8 a.m. and then, or like 7 a.m., you go to work 8, finish at 5. You don't maybe go to the gym, and then like that's it. You just like clock in and out. And it just regulated, and then after that, maybe like 5 years, you get promotion. And I think this is the thing that kind of stuck with me the longest. So in my company, Linamar, I don't know if I can say names, but basically, it was people who were there for 5 years. Their vacation time would go from 2 weeks to 3 weeks.
Oh.
And then 10 years, you get 4 weeks. 15 years, now you get 5 weeks off in a year. I was like, brother.
That is not a life.
And like
for you.
Exactly. And like circle, like now I don't even take vacation. Because like every day, I don't want to say it feels like vacation, but it's still dead based on what I'm doing. Right? So that was one of the things stuck with me. I'm like, I want to be able to control if I want to go on a vacation with like my family in the future or whatever it is. I want to be able to control that, right? But life back then was pretty straightforward, structured. You do accounting, you go to the gym, and just repeat. And it didn't look like the ceiling was much higher than I wanted to be.
I think I resonate very well with you because I think I remember when I first came to Canada and I started doing some warehouse stuff and everything. And then sometimes like I'll meet people in there, they're like, oh yeah, I've been here for like 20 years. I've been here for 15 years. And I was like, No.
I know,
like
bro.
when I try to picture myself, like, okay, so in 15 years, in 20 years, this is where
Yeah.
my life is going to be. I'm like, nah, I want more than that. Because sometimes I think when you try to picture yourself, when you see the people ahead of you, and then like that fear hits you, and then you're like, nah, like I think I can do more than my, because like if this is it, if that is it, no. And then something that you said that I think I really liked about it was the fact that you said you wanted to be in charge of your own time.
100%.
Right? Because I think as humans, like I think I was watching one podcast where they were talking about how something like when you love what you see, like you said you don't feel like, although you are not on a vacation, but you still feel like vacation because you love what you do.
Exactly.
Right? You really love what you do. So what led you to make that decision to be like, okay, I need to go do what I love?
Yeah, so I think this is something I've been asked before too, where it's like, what is that one thing that made you do this? Or like I've even asked, people have asked, what made you get into fitness? What's that one thing? But in my opinion, it's like accumulation of a bunch of things. Like there's just so many things, bro, right? So it's like a combination. So it wasn't just like I just got up and I was like, you know what, quit accounting, I'm gonna go into personal training. Like that never was not like a thought that just happened. There was a lot of events that led up to it. So again, some context, I was always into fitness, right? But again, being brown, I was like, I can't actually do something in the, like if I will work at a gym, in our culture, in my culture, at least in my head, people would be like, yo, this guy's wasting his time. Like, how is he gonna make money in the gym? Right? So that was always back on, fear of judgment from other people. And that holds a lot of us back because we're like, what are other people gonna think? So that held me back for a long time. But the second big thing that also led towards it, I would say if I had to summarize it, during COVID time, so 2020, right? I was like, everyone had this midlife crisis early on. everyone had this time of like reflection. Everyone's home, right? Everyone's just thinking, too much thinking in their head. Like, I want to do this. And I was just like, yo, how do I want my next 70 years to look like? What does that look like? And I was like, okay, it definitely does not look like what it is right now, right? So that was the one moment. The other moment, this was Kobe passed away that year, 2020. I was like, bro, this guy killed it. His 40 years, he did everything he could, and he still like passed away, and like he wasn't able to enjoy the fruits he actually worked for. So I was like, bro, if he was there, he'd be like, yo, just do what you want to do, right? Another thing happened. One of my nani, like my mom's mom, she passed away that year too, during COVID time. So I was like, yo, these are all just things that I'm like, yo, life is way too short. I know it sounds really cheesy.
No, bro.
Right? But like that, I was like, yo, if I don't pull the trigger now, like it's never gonna happen. And then the last cherry on top, the reason I was still in accounting at 2020, because from 2018 till 2020, that was my 30-month period time where I would get enough experience for CPA, and my work paid for my CPA. If I didn't get that, I would have paid them back, right? But when I quit, they didn't even ask for anything back. And I actually didn't get my 30 months. So technically, I could have quit earlier, right? But yeah, those are the things that led to it. And then I think one great point you mentioned already was like, yeah, I don't want my life to look like that. And I would look at my managers, which is awesome. They love what they do.
Exactly.
Right? But they're like, they work from 8 to 5, and then they will clock out, go home, feed the kids, and then get back on the clock 8 p.m. to 10. And I'm like, they're not actually like the company. They're just working for the company. Yeah. So the company is growing. I'm like, yo, if I want to work that much, because I don't mind working, I like working, might as well be building something on my end, right? So those were the accumulation of things, along the fact that I was like, I like the gym. I think that was like an obvious one. I was like, I just like the gym, and people are already starting to ask for help and stuff. And like I did like a show back in 2017, which we'll dive into later. So like I was already into fitness. People were already asking for help. And now these other events were just like, yeah, do it now. And then when I made the decision, and this is when you kind of know, like so many times in our life, we have this like decision we make, and right away, like you just feel blessed. You just feel light, right? So it was like a seamless decision, right? It could be relationships, family, everything. When you make a decision, you're like, yo, that was the right move. So like when I did that, I remember still, bro, like 2020, September 7th, I sent my 2 weeks resignation letter on the thing, right? I sent it in, and I was like, yo, that felt fucking sick. Right? So right away, I was like, okay, sick. And then after that, I was like, okay, let's see what happens now.
Yeah, I think sometimes like making that big jump, right? Getting yourself to that point where you are like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
I have to do this. I think, like you said, it accumulates. and accumulate, where even a pen will drop and it will help accumulate it. Everything was just like, it becomes an amalgamation of stuff where you look back and then you're like, okay, I have to do this. You have to do this. One point that you made that I want us to delve much into is how you were able to deal with societal expectations of you, especially being a brown person, where you like you said, like there is kind of like a set pathway for you, and then you getting yourself to that point where you are like, I know I'm going outside what is normally expected of someone like you. How were you able to, first of all, deal with it? And then secondly, how were you able to get yourself to the point where you are like, you know what? How were you able to tune
it out,
everything, and then just focus on running?
So that one is a little bit more like two parts. Number one, in 2018, end of 2018, I started listening to a lot of podcasts. Like Jay Shetty was one of them. Lewis Howes, The School of Greatness. So one of the biggest things I did, I think that helped me, was I just started putting positivity in my ears. And we were listening to something on TV before this too. It's like subconsciously just put good thoughts in your mind that are leading towards growth, right? Like, it sounds, in hindsight, that's not what I was thinking. I was like, yo, this seems like a sick podcast. And the podcast title was like, how do you turn your purpose into your passion? Or your passion into your purpose, whatever it is. So I started listening to those things. And those people, like Jay Shetty, for example, he's brown in the UK. He became a monk, complete outside. And then he started his own media company and all these things he's doing now. I was like, this guy went complete different route. And he's doing, seems like pretty well, right? Right? So like I started listening to people who went outside the norm. And they were like, the feeling you're feeling is completely normal. So which made me realize, oh damn, okay, so I'm actually supposed to feel like this. This is not actually odd.
No.
Everyone else doing whatever they're doing is actually odd because you're going against what they actually feel like doing. So everyone's actually fighting against more of who themselves are than I was. So technically in my head, I kind of reframed the whole idea of like, oh, like I have to meet these expectations, but like I was gonna meet my expectations first, right? But don't get me wrong, there's still like, but people still be like, why don't you just do taxes like first quarter of the year? Like that's side money, right? Because that's our mentality. It's like first quarter, just do taxes. Like people will still say stuff, but I was like, you know what? Like I just gotta make sure what do I value, and then how do I want to live, and then what am I good at? That was one part. I just put good stuff in my mind. And the other part, I would say my mom was clutch, bro. Like I remember leaving accounting. My mom was like, I don't even know why you took accounting. It seemed boring, right? My dad was the other side. He was like, yo, you should like, you know, this, whatever. But like my mom was mad supportive. So like my family in general, like I think I got lucky in the sense, like fortunate. My family's supportive system where they weren't judging me. They were like pretty okay with it. Obviously, they were a little worried initially.
I mean, but they care. They want the best for you.
Exactly. But they weren't like showing that as much, even though I know in the back of their mind they were feeling it. But they were supportive with it. So I think that helped me a lot because that gave me a big boost. And I think third thing that kind of helped me was I don't have that many friends, bro. So like... So no, I'm saying so like it wasn't like a massive circle of people that would tell me what to do or what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have this judgment of like every like some people, bro. You know our culture, brown culture, your culture. Like every weekend there will be an event in the summer
there's
or like
a wedding.
That's
there's
it.
A barbecue,
and then it's the same conversation.
Exactly.
Why you leave accounting? What is a trainer? You work at the gym? Like what are you working? You do the CPA? No. So like I didn't have that many of those conversations. Because I just didn't go to that much social occasions, right? And the timing was perfectly because during like COVID time, there was nowhere to actually go, right? So I think that's how I kind of managed that part, was just like putting good stuff in my mind, first of all, staying in the state of gratitude, growth, right? And then having a good support system with family and then being clear with them. It's like, yo, like I'm doing this. But yeah, I guess if I had to give someone tips, be like, yo, plan ahead. Like me being an accountant, I planned quite a bit.
Yeah, I think sometimes like we humans, sometimes like, one of the things that maybe I would say we worry so much is about like getting ourselves to make that jump, right? Because we overthink it so much, right? 100%. And then like you said, you don't want to just maybe make the jump and then regret it. You need planning ahead and then getting yourself there. For me, one thing that currently I've realized is if you are defeated here,
done.
There's nothing that you can do. If you're defeated here, there's nothing that, and then I've realized with time, with associations with people, I realized that there are so many of us that our biggest issue is here.
Bro.
Like here, like because like sometimes like you could see certain people can go into things and then they quit so easily. They don't even start. They just got closer to it and they're like, nah, it's not for me. And then how we think other people will think about me. And I realized that nobody gives a shit.
No. Everyone's thinking about themselves, bro. Everyone has so much in their head about themselves.
Nobody, sometimes we spend so much time and energy worrying about, hey, what some people are going to think about. I remember starting my podcast, and then when I was like, I don't do podcast, I do take photos. Why do I want to do this? What are people going to? Then I was like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, what do you like? Yeah.
If I do it and it doesn't work, it didn't work. But at the end of the day, I know I did it. I'd rather do it and fail than rather sit there and be like, what if I've done it? What if I've done it? What if I've done it? Then it becomes like, and then you remain stuck and then you get it. So like, how were you able to, you prepared? What were some of the preparations that you did to get to that point where you were like, okay, I'm sending in my resignation?
Yeah, so I think one big is financial, right? I think that's one of the biggest things that stops people, especially like when they're trying to say something as drastic as leaving a stable job, consistent income for literally like, bro, I had 0 clients, 0 trust with people in terms of personal training, right? So how are we going from income to 0 income, which is a big financial thing. So the thing I planned ahead was in 2018, in my head, I was like, I always want to do something training related. I just wasn't sure what's going to happen. So I would just save up money, right? So when I left accounting, I had saved up enough to move back home. And that's another fortunate thing. I was able to move back home, right? Some people have responsibilities, like, you're here by yourself kind of thing. So like I was able to move back home, not pay rent in Guelph anymore because I lived in Guelph when I was in accounting. And then I was like, if I don't make anything for the next 2.5 years, I'll be okay. Right? That's how I approached it. So I came from a mindset of like, yo, I'm going to come here just to serve. Like, I'm just going to come, post videos. And initially, bro, my idea was to work at like a Good Life or like LA Fitness. But COVID happened, so I couldn't. Right? So like, again, that was a blessing in disguise now. But like, I was like, I'll just work there. And whatever posting stuff I do online is going to be just based on value and helping, not even needing a client. Right? So that's how I started into it. So I didn't think from like a desperation page, like, I have to like back against the wall. I have to, get a client right now.
Money, you're worried about how you're gonna pay other stuff, your car and all that.
I think that was the one big pillar, and the second big pillar was like, I already started. So in 2017, when I did the competition, 2018, I started posting workout videos. So I was already posting videos 2 years before I quit. Right? But it wasn't like knowledge stuff. It was straight me video. So I had the reps of like, okay, being comfortable or just posting stuff. Right? Because if I just started everything, I was like, everything is going to just start now, then I would have been like, oh my God, it's so slow, or like, this is not working, or I wouldn't be confident. But I started doing the thing that I wanted to do before I actually started doing it. So on the off time that I had, after accounting, I would go to the gym, I would go flex in the mirror, and I'll go post something, right? So I got reps of that. And the third biggest thing is, bro, like, a lot of it is confidence-based, right? Like, can I actually train people? Like, I know I can get my biceps jacked. Can I get somebody else's biceps jacked? So I started taking a bunch of courses, right? I took like, couple health certifications, personal training certifications. I'm still enrolled in a few courses. I got to coach myself. So I just started getting all this knowledge, which instilled confidence in me. And as my physique started looking better and developing, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I can definitely help some people. So yeah, those were 3 big things I would say. I financially kind of set myself up a little bit. And I was like, okay. It's not like I was balling out, but like I was like,
at least you put yourself
I can buy protein.
Position. Yeah. One thing that I think I really I admire about everything that you said was the fact that you sat down and you looked at certain points that could be a problem, and then you started to find ways to solve those problems. You didn't see them as, oh my God, I could be broke. I don't think I can even train people. And you didn't see them as a point of, okay, these are the problems I'm going to sit down. But you look, okay, if how can I solve it? If money is going to be an issue, how can I solve? Okay, I'm giving myself 2 years to save so that at least I can put myself in a position where I don't become like, I need money. Even when you said you had doubts that you could train people, you didn't let it stop you by right, okay, you are confident into, okay, if I go and take those courses and I go and read those books and I do this, it will be able to put you in that position to do what you, and I really admire that with what you just said, Paul, like having that problem solving skills where you don't see things as a means to quit. But rather you see it, okay, like how can I solve this? How can I get over this hurdle? What are the solutions to take? And then that's the beautiful thing. And then with the money in aspect, like it's something that, especially for me, I resonate very well with it. Like you said, I'm here all by myself. So like sometimes you have to find something we were even talking about this off camera or something, that I have a job that at least, even if no matter what, I know my rent is going to be paid, because I don't have that luxury of living. My parents are not here.
Exactly.
So at least I need to find something that no matter what, I know that at least I can get a place to stay. Right. So even if you are here and you are like, oh, there are so many ways that you can go about it. It's all about just sitting down and realizing that, okay, this could be a problem. If those problems arise, how can I go about it?
Yeah, and bro, like knowing your personality, like I don't react that well to like my back against the wall, negativity, and like I have no other options now. Like I want to come from a place of like positivity and be like, okay, I can like relax, I can breathe a little bit, and then I can make decisions and talk to people in that manner, right? So some people react well to like, you know what, I'm just gonna get away, quit this job, and then back against the wall. Now they have to make these cold calls, reach out. Everything, they kind of react well in that. They can be aggressive in that kind of mindset. I can't, right?
I'm also like that. I cannot.
Yeah.
Like I cannot, like, so if I'm worried, like I was telling, there was someone that I had on the podcast, and then I remember they say they have kids. They're also trying to build their brand and everything. And I remember telling them that if I had kids and then everything, I think I'd probably have quit right now, because like the idea of knowing that
you take care of them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so it's like I don't react very well. I'm just like you, where it's like I'm always at the point where it's like I have that positivity, but I can't just be like
done,
like, and then just be like, some people are really good at it.
Yeah.
But it's just not something that I think I can look at. Because like for me, I don't think I can just quit my job, quit everything, be like straight up. I need to have that plan, set things in motion. Know that, okay, if this doesn't work, I can climb on this one and put it. It's not like finding a plan B, but rather like having a set plan, a structure, things to go about it.
Having some stability.
Exactly.
Right? Like I think one of the things people ask, like, yo, how'd you take this massive risk? At the moment, it didn't look like a risk to me because I planned well. Right? So like it didn't, even now when I make decisions, like they're not really like that risky. Like I make them fairly calculated. So I'm pretty risk averse, bro. Like I make sure I save this much or whatever it is. Or like I know for a fact, okay, like based on previous experience, this is gonna pay off in the future, even though right now it may seem like upfront money. So it's like I don't take that many risks. It may seem like it as like a business person. And that's one of the biggest things people say, you gotta take risks. And maybe I gotta take risks to scale the business or something like that, right? But like so far, honestly, like I don't think I've taken massive risks.
Yeah, I think sometimes like when you are in it, you don't feel like it. But true. I know probably 10 years, 20 years, you're going to look back and like, yeah, I think that was a huge risk.
That is true.
That was like a huge, because like even right now, from my POV, I was like a 9 to 5, at least you got the money, you got some pay, and then you stopped all that to come and start a business with 0 clients. That's like...
if you put it like that,
that is like a huge risk. That's the thing. And then it makes you also realize how much sometimes we over exaggerate things because like you see sometimes we hear people and then they're like, oh, we think that they took a risk. It's like this big thing, but it's just like a decision to say, okay, I'm gonna do this and pretty much just follow through and commit to it.
That's it.
Right. We think that a risk is like, oh, you have to like do this gigantic thing and and then it's one of those things that sometimes paralyzes us.
Yeah.
Because we see it as that.
Yeah. But yo, like in my head, I guess you're right. When you put it like that, it seems like a massive risk. But in my opinion, the bigger risk is not doing it. Because what are the consequences, right? Imagine living 70 years the way you don't want to live. Bro, that's a massive, in my opinion, like if you think about it like that, the consequences are way bigger in that sense.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, like, bro, like I don't think about plan B, anything like that. This is all in, like everything. And that's how I've been. But it's like, bro, if anything happens, like, okay, maybe I can just go work at a gym, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the backup now per se. But I don't even think about that in that sense. And one of the biggest mantras I follow, bro, like you've kind of mentioned this, like I'm thinking about solutions, is control the controllables.
Exactly.
Right? It's like, okay, in this situation, what can you control? Possibly, right? And then the solutions just start flowing.
Exactly.
Because I can literally control who I study from, who can I hire as a mentor, who can I ask for help, how much can I save on a monthly basis, what video can I record right now. I just pulled out my phone. Yo guys, what's good? This is how you do a bicep curl. That's how I started everything, right? So I just always think of control the controllable, and that puts your mindset in a productive mindset rather than like, oh man, this is so risky. It's not I don't feel good enough, or like whatever it is. So that's how I always shift it. I reframe everything.
It's those things that really cripples. Like, I think I was telling you how I had to make that decision this year, where I was like, well, like, I remember I was sitting down, and then I was like, damn, like, I'm gonna be 30 next year, like, and then all those things started to creep in my mind. I was like, dude, like, you're gonna be 30, you're still trying to build your brand, you're still trying to do this. Just, you have a degree in business administration, just go find yourself go to grad school, do an MBA, get yourself a job at something, at least so that you can save enough money. So I was like, okay, I told myself I was gonna give myself 5 years. I was gonna go to grad school for 2 years, work for like a year or two, save money, and then maybe afterwards, when I have enough money saved and I've gotten myself, then I will come back. Then I told myself, bro, dude, it's either you do it now or you just quit it. And I started to look at myself, okay, if I go to grad school and I start working in the office and doing all that, and I let go of all these things that I'm doing, Kwame at 35, what is Kwame at 35 going to be like? And I try to picture, I'm like, I'm going to be miserable.
Yeah, bro.
And that is not the lesson. I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm gonna do what I have to do now. If that means I have to take a pay cut, I have to do what I have to do, so that I'd rather build it now than wait till 35 where I'm now about to start it. Even that time is even gonna be more hard, because the one thing that I've realized is the more we are growing up, the more responsibilities comes in, and the more your responsibilities are coming, the more it's hard to take risk.
100%. And bro, like, think about it. Kwame at 35 is running around with 2 kids and a wife. And then, like, you tell your wife, hey, by the way, babe, like, I'm actually gonna quit all this, and I'm gonna actually start a production
getting
company
and get people and get clients. And
like, don't worry, like, there's gonna be $100 million budget. We're gonna build a film. Like, she'd be like, yo, the baby needs diapers right now, right? So no, 100%. We don't know where it's gonna be 5 years, right?
Exactly.
It's either now or like kind of never mentality.
Exactly.
And don't get me wrong, bro. Like, I think like you in the sense, like, okay, like, once I have this, I'll do this. Once I have this, I'll do this. Like, I wanted to compete 2 years ago. But 2 years ago, I was like, okay, maybe I don't have this yet. Like, physique wise or like business wise, I'm gonna do this. But then it'll eventually happen. But it takes always longer than we think it's gonna take.
Exactly.
So like, if we think after 5 years, it's probably gonna take 20 years. So like, that's why it's doing it now, because it's already gonna be more delayed than we want it to be.
Bro, you deciding to leave, so you made that decision. You talked to your parents, they were all supportive, and then you made that decision to leave. You made something that you came in with the mindset of wanting to serve. Right? For me, I saw you. I saw how you started. You were posting on your stories. You were posting on TikTok. You were just doing all things because you were trying to build the brand. How were you? I mean, you already said one of your approach was you came in with wanting to serve. What was some of the approaches where you're like, okay, cool. Now you've made that decision to go into this. What was the plan? What was certain things that you were like, okay, how am I going to get this thing, the ball rolling?
Yeah, so first I'm going to thank Andy Frisella. He's like he has a podcast called MFCEO Project. He has Real AF right now. And he was another podcast that like I dived into a lot. And one of his things is power list. So every day, just make a list of 5 things, right, that are going to be non-negotiable, and you'll do no matter what. Like, this podcast was a non-negotiable today. No matter what is going to happen now, because we're talking about it for a while, right? So just one thing or 5 things on the list, and like 2 can be health related. So get your walk in, get your water in. 1 thing could be business related. Message 10 people today that might be potential clients, or just expand your network, right? And then another thing could be relationship related. Yo, tell your mom like, yo, you're beautiful today. Whatever it is. But just things that move you forward for that day. And then that means you have won the day. So initially back in 2020, I have no clients. I was like, okay, what are activities that can generate clients? Number 1, it's like, okay, posting stuff online to get my name out there, to seem like a credible source. Not seem pretty credible. Credible source.
That was 2020.
That was 2020. to be like, okay, this person can help me improve my lifestyle in health and get fitness, right? So I was like, okay, posting videos. But before the posting, I was like, okay, scripting some videos maybe, or coming up with ideas, right? And where do I get the ideas from? It's like, okay, how was I 5 years ago? Because I want to that's the best way I can kind of serve people. It's like, okay, what do I know? And what have I experienced? So maybe generating content. So having that power list, I still do this every single day. There's 5 things on there that need to be done no matter what until I go to sleep. Like, it's going to happen no matter what. And sometimes I can finish those 5 things in the first hour of the day, bro. Because like, it might just be like, you got to post on this page, record a testimonial and edit this video, and then make sure you get your meals ready for the day. Done. Right? So like those 5 things move you forward. But the beautiful thing about that is like the first 5 things I did in 2020, they're not the same 5 things, right?
It changes.
So like initially it was like, get your walk in, read 10 pages a day and listen to a podcast or something, right? Now it's like those things car turns on, podcast is on. I get up in the morning, coffee is getting made, book is right there. I do that and like don't even think about it now, right? Walking, bro, I'm probably walking in my head right now, right? So like those things happen regularly. So those 5 things, daily inputs, daily controllable action items that will move me forward. That's probably one of the biggest things I would say, because any area of life you can apply that to.
Yeah.
And what it does is, bro, like sometimes we make a list of 50 things to do, right? And then if you don't do it, day 1, we're like, oh, fuck, okay, I'll catch up tomorrow.
Yeah.
But then if you go 7 days in a row, you never hit your list, bro, you lose so much confidence. You're like, maybe I'm not meant to do this, right? So like, that's why like people say like, it's not really baby steps. I don't like that approach because people get too soft on that. It's like, well, I'll just drive to the gym today and I'll take a picture of the gym and I'll go back home. It's like, okay, not that, but like having some things that you can control and just lets you move forward for the day. And then that's it after that. And this is not taking consideration like your normal actual responsibilities.
Yeah.
Like if I'm supposed to make a client program, like I'm supposed to do that. Like that's my job. I'm not going to go put on my power list, do a client program today, right? It might be like, okay, do a client program, but also record a video that can attract new clients. Now that's moving the business forward, right? So power list was number 1. Second big thing, I just surrounded myself with a lot of like people in the game already. So I joined Project Rise. That was one of the gyms. Charan, Mike, all those guys were there who were training already for 10 plus years. And I got to coach myself and I enrolled in courses, like Prescript was one of them, who are the trainers in there for 10, 15, 20 years, right? People running the show were physios, chiros in the medical field. So there's people so much ahead of me already that I was like, there's obviously a career here, right? There's obviously a potential here. But then also like you can easily ask for help. And like I just asked a bunch of stupid questions. I was like, my client's not losing weight. Like, what can I do? They're like, have they tracked their calories? I'm like, yeah, they said they have, but like they're lying to you, buddy, right? They're having random stuff throughout the day. Right, but I wouldn't really think about it like that.
Yeah.
So like just surrounding myself with a lot of good people. Even like you, bro. Like, you know, you got my reps in content, right? I was like, okay, just recording myself or like even just doing pictures like that. Put myself out there, bro. In 2019 was my first year where I wore a different color turban.
Yeah, I saw you were right. When we started off, you were trying different styles.
Yeah,
like some of it was hard for you.
Yeah, bro. I only wore black up till that point. Right? So that's 5 years ago. That's 24. When I was 24, only wore black turban. Right? And then after that, with you, I was different color turbans. Everything was gang, you know? So that just started like getting reps of getting a little uncomfortable because you realize like no one really gives a shit, right? You're just in your head. So that just started putting myself out there. I think those were the 3 big things I would personally say that kickstarted some stuff.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I think your second point is something that I've also started inculcating in my life. I think mine is in twofold, especially the gym, right? And then now everything that I do is like, now I have this mindset of 1% better each day.
Yep.
That is all. I don't want, that is all 1% better each day. So what I did today, okay, how can I be 1% better tomorrow? So that is like that mindset. And I think I started to inculcating so many things. Like in June, I went to this competition, we did it and everything. And then I came back and then I was like, okay, cool. I want to compete again next year, but how can I get myself? I just sat down and then looked at the numbers and I just calculated it for just every day. I just want to just have a 1% increase in the numbers. I don't want just 1%. And then we did the competition in October and then now we're in December. When I look at the numbers now, I'm like, whoa. Like,
Crazy.
who would have thought? But if I had looked at it from like the bigger point of, okay, like so big, it would have like killed the spirit. But putting myself as, okay, I just want to do every day just 1% better.
Yeah.
Just 1% better. Like, and it's pretty much the same thing that you were doing. Okay, 5 things where like, I need to get it done. And then the next day and then like you said, 5 years ago, those things now they have become part of you. It's not something that you even sit down and then you're like, I need to. Now it's like you built that discipline.
It compounds, bro.
Exactly.
And that I learned from accounting, compounding interest, right?
Yeah.
It all just adds on to each other, but you don't know when it's gonna go like boom, right? But you can't really expect it to go boom without doing the compounding, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us, we wanted to be like, oh, I've been doing this for a long time. But have you actually been doing it? Right? We go months on, months off, months on, months off. But like it has to be an everyday thing. Like literally, bro, like I'm not gonna say like I sit here and like every day is blessed and I get everything done, right? But like
we have our days.
Yeah, but bro, like it's a really never-ending game. Like think about it, like bro, like we are always gonna work, right? So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm never really gonna stop working, right? Even though like people want to retire by 35, retire by 40, it's like, yo, like if you retire, you're gonna die. Like
you die early,
right?
Yeah.
So like in my head, I'm like, okay, day at a time, but also understand it's a massively long, like it's gonna take a really long time to do whatever you want to do, right? So it's never really gonna stop. So that actually like settles me a little bit. Because I'm like, oh, yo, it's not. Yes, I want to be aggressive on a daily basis, but also I'm not in a rush at the same time.
Exactly.
So it's like a nice little balance.
Yeah, I think
right?
when you break it down, it really do help, right? Like the competition that I was talking about right now, like I need to be able to run 8K. But when you look at yourself and then you are like, damn, like 8K, that's like too big. Okay, if 8K is too big, I have 1 year. Okay, calculate it. Just do bit. Today I'm gonna do 5K, and then tomorrow I'm gonna train myself to get to 6K. To get, let's say you started with 100 meters, then I'm gonna do 100 meters tomorrow, 120, 130. Once you start doing those little, we don't see it because like we see this big thing of like this big, but it's those 5 things I'm gonna do today. That 1% that I need to do before the 1% that I need to 1% better that I did yesterday.
Yeah,
it's those little things. But sometimes we think it's like this big thing that we did that God has done. But it's like those little breadcrumbs, those little things that we just have to do. And then with time, and it's one thing that makes me really appreciate going to the gym.
Yeah, bro. It's a daily practice. You can.
It's like it builds. You get to build discipline.
100%.
And I think that is something that a lot of us like we mix. I think a lot of us sometimes dwell on motivation. So when the motivation comes, bro, we are gonna do this, and then the moment the motivation is not there, it's scrap.
Yeah, bro. Like it's also society we live in, right? Like think about it like a podcast. That's why I love podcasts because you can actually talk. But like say for example, you do a TikTok or reel, you have to like say the hook and then you say the solution and then like everything is go because like the attention span is so little, right? And we end up applying that to everything, like results. We're like everything is quick. We want
everything is quick, like
right? And like because of social media, like you think, okay, you see a guy with a sick car and a house. You're like, oh, he got a drop shipping business on Amazon, make $1 million a year or whatever it is, and they're selling you that, right? People are selling quick. So all this other stuff that takes a while, right? People are like, oh, why? I can just get it quicker.
Yeah.
I can just take some steroids. Like, it's just like people that want everything quick, and that takes away the whole idea of discipline, right?
Yeah.
The discipline to do it daily, no matter the result.
No matter what, you have to do. Yeah. You have to do. It's something that I think, like, especially this past year or two, I've really begun to thank myself for going to the gym.
Yeah, bro.
Because like some of the things that I have been through, or some of the decisions that I've made, or some of the things that I've had to put myself in situations where I had to get certain things done. If the gym really did help me, where it's like, oh, so it's like showing up every day. Even sometimes like you are not able to lift the weight, but you still show up, building that muscle.
Yeah.
Is that muscle, putting ourselves in that situation to build that muscle, like that discipline of I need to go.
Yeah.
I have to go. I have to show up. Okay, if this is not working, how can I do to? And then that is something that I've realized that most people don't have that. It's something that I really wish that we focus so much on being able to build that discipline to do things and to follow through and then just to get things going.
No, I've seen your journey, bro. Like I've seen online, like okay, like see you progressing. And I think the biggest thing I see with you too is like you have people around you that are in the same game or like trying to encourage you. And then I see like the community of people you've built around in the gym, right? Either recording videos with them or doing the fitness stuff, powerlifting or running. And that becomes so important. The external environment keeps you accountable. But also like, I think it goes back to the point of like, it's something you control. So as long as you're controlling it, it's like your anchor point, right? At least like you have something in the day that you can literally control. No one else can take that away from you. Now you've started to build some forward momentum of other things you can control, right?
For me, like that mantra that you live by, I definitely live by it because for me, I was like, I'm always like, control the controllables, the things that I can't control about, just leave it to God. I can't do anything about it. There's nothing that I can do about it. So like, I'm not going to, I'm not going to waste my energy and my time worrying about things that I can't control about. But what I can control is how I show up today.
That's it.
How I get better. How I get better than I was yesterday. That I can control. Whether the business is going to grow, be $10 billion, yes, it would depend on with the things that I will do today. But I can't control tomorrow. I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what is going to happen next week. So don't even worry so much about like how you're going to get there and everything. So even with your business, starting the brand and everything, you know, there were so many things that you knew you couldn't control. You surrounded yourself with coaches, mentors, and everything. How were you able to get to especially getting a mentor? It's something that recently I've gotten myself a mentor, which I realized that I really need a mentor. I had someone, but it was not like official, but now like I put myself in a position, I have to find myself a mentor. How were you able to get yourself to that point instead of, okay, a mentor, and how was your approach with having a mentor, a coach, someone coaching you and everything?
Yeah, so I think a lot of time our ego gets in the way of like, okay, maybe I just need to put the work in. Like I just got to do it. Right? We don't think like we need the external help. We don't think like, okay, like, yes, we know somebody knows more than us, but we're like, let me just figure it out because that's the best way to learn. Or like if I just Google or YouTube stuff. But the other person has already put 10 years in or 20 years in. And you can ask them. And the best part is when someone's done that, they actually want to help. Right? So one of the biggest things, again, like I said, podcasts. Right? Those were my starting mentors when I started listening to podcasts. And like, that's another thing with mentorship. Like people think, oh, you got to go hire somebody. Like initially, bro, I know clients. I'm like, I can't hire somebody right now. Right? So I would just say, okay, what are the mentors? Okay, people who are already in the industry, podcasts that are talking about self-development growth. So Jay Shetty, Lewis Howes, even there was a Ben Pekulski, he has like a bodybuilding podcast. Andy Frisella, who owns a supplement company in the US. Like I just started listening to these guys and bro, like, I will listen to them 8 to 10 hours a day. Cause like, I don't have clients. The gyms are closed, right? Like literally, bro, my job looked like in the morning, I would read and drink coffee and then like work out outside, record a video. And then rest of the day, I'm like, yo, what do I do?
I'm surprised you're able to keep it going like this.
So, but the other part was also like, I had some in 2019 connected with like Mike and Sharon from Project Rise. And before leaving accounting, I asked them, it's like, hey, can I train at your guys' gym? So they're like, yeah, bro, but like, obviously you'll have to get your own clients, things like that, but you can shadow us. So I asked them, build connection with them, and I worked out with them a few times. So that's where I built some trust and rapport. And they're like, okay, this guy's a good human. This guy, wants to help people getting into training. And that was their criteria. It's like, just be a good person, bro. Right? The whole personal training thing, I've realized over time, doesn't matter how much knowledge you have, if people don't trust you and you're not actually approachable or relatable and you can't connect with another human, it's going to be really tough for you. Because like the person has to actually listen to you if you tell them to do something. And if they don't trust you, that's never going to happen, right? So from them, I learned like, relationships and all that stuff is way more important than like all the theory knowledge you have. But if you combine both of them, then you can be a really good trainer. At least that's what I've realized. But yeah, I reached out to them and I was like, yo, can I just shadow you guys? So I just went to their gym and I would watch them train clients for like 10 hours, right? 4 or 5 days a week. So I just started doing that, watching them, taking notes, and then I started making content on like, okay, some things I would learn from them. And then I would apply that to my training, right? So that was my first, initiation with mentorship. And then the courses I was taking, pre-script, there was a bunch of people that did labs from the course. And then there was a bunch of people like who led the labs, and I asked one of them to be my coach for training, who trained me personally for like my working out, but was also an online coach. So I learned a lot from him. James McIntosh, he's from Australia actually.
Yeah, I think I've heard that name before.
Yeah. So he's from Prescript, and I learned a lot from him for like even online coaching business wise, brand building, and then how he was coaching me and all the systems he had in place. Before I was like, yo, here's a Word document. But then, I saw like how many Excel spreadsheets he had, transition onto like an app, all these systems, like recording videos, the calorie counting, tracking your sleep, tracking resting heart rate, like so many different things. I was like, holy shit, like this is like next level. He's not just giving the person a workout and be like, go to the gym. There's so much details. There's like, how does your elbow move? How does your shoulder move? How does your hips move? And I was like, yo, the attention to detail, amount of caring these guys are having, I would have never like thought about that if I didn't get that mentorship.
Yeah.
Right? Even now I have a coach, Coach Baxter. I've had a coach for like almost 5 years now. Right? So it's just one of those things. I think like I want to get to a point where like maybe I have a coach for marketing, I have a coach for business, coach for fucking yoga. Like I think it's really important. So that's how I got into it.
Yeah, mentorship. Mentorship is one thing that I think I am currently like, it's something that, because like I got into this program. I think the city have a program where it helps Black filmmakers get to be on like big budget films and everything. And then one of the things that they do is to link people with mentors in the industry and everything. And since I got my mentor, and then I started talking to this person and they were coaching me, now I'm like, why didn't I get myself a mentor? Like, I would have saved myself so much steps. Because sometimes I think when we are there, we are like, we try to do so many things on our own, try to, okay, we can do this. But when you have someone that is ahead of you, and then especially when that person too is having that mindset of, I want to help you. I don't want to gatekeep everything. I want to like, spread it, I help you grow and everything. It really do help. And it's right now, like, I'm very pro mentor. Like, go get yourself a mentor. Like, go get whatever that you are doing, even if you want to learn how to sweep the floors, go get yourself a mentor. Go get yourself someone that knows how to sweep the floor, that have done it before ahead 100%. Of you. Because, like, you can be able to, first thing I think, I feel like you can be able to avoid so many mistakes. Because there are certain things that sometimes, yes, I know we learn experience, mistakes will be able to, but sometimes there are some mistakes that you don't need to make them. You can avoid them.
Bro, 100%.
You can avoid them so easily. You don't need to waste 20 years or 2 months to make that mistake. When you can get someone, okay, this is something that you should be able to avoid. Okay, let's do this, let's do that, let's do that. Like, I've really begun to see the importance of like having a mentor, having someone ahead of you. Just act like you said, just ask for help.
Bro, like if you think about our system, like the way we've grown up in like school system, technically the teacher is your mentor.
Exactly.
So we've been taught to like, that's the only way to learn is from a mentor. But now we don't go apply that in other areas of life, right? Business, coaching, whatever it is.
I think some of us have this mindset of, like I was talking about this same thing like with a panelist some time ago. And then it's like, especially for me, I don't know about you, but especially for us Africans, Ghanaians per se, we've been raised with this mindset of, we don't want to come to you to ask for help because we feel like you're going to use it against us sometime in the future. Like, oh, I helped ROUNIT. I was the one that made ROUNIT get to where he is. I built it up. But one thing I realized, it puts you in a position where you don't ask for help.
Yeah. The ego, bro. Like I think it's ego.
It's an ego thing.
Yeah.
Because like, especially us Ghanaians, like we've been raised with that mindset of like not asking for help because I don't want to look too weak. Not asking for help because I feel like maybe if I become successful, you're gonna use it against me because then you're gonna say, "Oh, I helped him. I was the one that showed him how to do this." And then we've been raised with that. And then that was something that I had to break. 100%. For me personally, it's like a shell, especially in the industry that I'm in. But it's like, dude, if you don't ask for help, if you don't message people, you're gonna be stuck.
You're done. And bro, like this again leads into every single thing. Like even recording content, we were talking about this before, right? Perfectionism, like you want to perfect everything, then post or whatever. It was every time I get in this mindset of like, oh, this video's not good enough, whatever. I'm like, yo, who the hell do I think I am? I'm not that special. Like no one gives a shit if my video looks a little bit wonky compared to the other person, right? So every time I record stuff in the gym, I'm like, okay, my mentality is to serve. okay, it doesn't look the best, it's fine. That's my ego talking. The other person, if they'll find it helpful, they'll find it helpful, which meets my criteria of serving people, right? And then helping, it's like, okay, if I'm getting help, I can help more people.
Exactly.
Okay, now you're coming from serving instead of ego taking over constantly. So I think it applies to so many other areas
like
too, right?
So many, like being able to have like ego in check, like especially in this social media age where it's like sometimes like you can have the likes coming in and then the followers coming in. It's so easy to get so into it where you begin to think you are somebody. Yes, we are all somebody, but at the same time, sometimes it's like, dude, check yourself. Like,
that's it. Not that special, man.
You're not that special.
Not that special.
You're just the other person or the neighbor next door. Like, just check yourself and then get things going and just relax and then just don't try to overthink things and then just, because I think humility, like if you, one thing I've currently learned is like, if you approach everything with a mindset of service, you will go far.
That's it.
If you go into everything where it's like, I just want to help.
That's it.
I just want to help. Like, just go into, like, I just want to make your life easier. I just want to be able to, it's like once you're able to come, there was some, I think there's a quote where it's like, there is no master that hasn't been a servant before.
Awesome. Yeah, love it.
It's like that. There is no master that hasn't been a servant before.
There's so like in our culture, Sikhism, you know the temples, gurdwaras, right? People, anyone who goes in there gets free food. Like they can go eat food, and people who are serving the food, that's called seva. Seva just means selfless service.
Oh wow!
Right? So literally, like it doesn't matter like how things are happening. People can't afford whatever afford. You don't need to go pay anything. You go and get food, and that's been the pillar of like Sikhi in general. It's like seva, selfless service. And again, one of the best things is like when you take that approach, you end up doing whatever you actually want to do. And then the other stuff, because obviously we're driven by, okay, monetary, am I making money? Am I doing this, that, right? But that ends up coming full circle because you just do it with good intention, right? So again, intention combined with action is where like the sauce is. Because I think sometimes we can, in our head, think, okay, I'm intention, do this, but life takes over. We don't actually take the action. But combination of both of them is where the secret is, right?
Where get the seed. I think sometimes like we want like that instant gratification that we forget that we have to start somewhere. We have to be willing to serve. We have to be willing to put ourselves in that position where like you have to be at level 1. But I think especially in this day and age where we are always in that position of, okay, I need to be where ROUNIT is right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, why am I not there? Yeah. No. But it's like ROUNIT didn't get himself where he is right now just because he got there. He first had to serve. Yeah, he first has to start from somewhere. He first had to, go through the mud, sit in his car, drink his coffee, make those videos, have that mindset of service.
Yeah. And bro, like when you frame it like that, I still don't feel like I'm anywhere either.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So like
when that humility,
you're in it, so you don't really think like you've done anything still. Like I'm always like, the list is still there. I still got to execute the list. So it's like it never really ends. It's like a circle. We have to, like you said, you have to start. And like
you have to start somewhere.
Me even having this conversation, bro, like maybe 5-6 years ago, I would be no confidence at all. Like me talking would be mad awkward. I'll be like, oh, I don't even know what to say, bro. Right? Even me talking to like a female would be awkward. Right? Like, so it just takes reps of like building confidence daily. But like you have to constantly do it because it's gonna be never ending, like we mentioned. Like I still like the way you just said something, or like you wish where ROUNIT is right now. It's like, why would somebody wish that? Like, but maybe I can see it because people have asked questions, but like, bro, I don't even know where I'm at.
Yo, it's the same thing. Like, I think 2 weeks ago, a month ago, someone messaged me and they were like, "Oh, like we would like to be your assistant," and I was like, "Whoa, what?"
Yeah, bro, it's wild, man. So like,
I'm like, me?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just a guy in my basement taking pictures. Like, what are you talking about?
That's it.
But that's the thing where it's like sometimes like it's having that gratitude of seeing, oh, at least I've
done something.
I appreciate it, and then being humble about it, and then also know, okay, cool. There's more room to grow and more room to get yourself to be able to grow and then be other person. So before we wrap things up, like if there's someone that they are struggling to start, right? They are trying to get themselves to start that business, go to the gym, what do you call it? Do that thing that they've been trying so hard to do. What are some of the things that you would tell them? Right? What are some advice that you give to that guy that is still in their bedroom where they are like looking on Instagram, doing other people doing other stuff that they wish they too could get out of their room and do something? What are some advice that you get them?
Yes, I gotta make this good, right?
No,
I think we've touched on quite a bit.
Yeah,
on
we've
this,
already touched like a lot of it.
But one of the biggest things I would say is like first it starts here, right? Like so put yourself in a better state of like mindset. But sometimes that's hard to do if we're like in this rut thing. So first thing I would literally say is change your environment. Like if you're in a room, go outside, go get some fresh air, or like go take a cold shower or take a hot shower, whatever it is. Just change your external environment so you start moving. And like one of the cheesiest saying in like fitness, it's like movement is medicine, right? So just start moving, start doing something even home. Like go downstairs, go out in the kitchen. Like just start moving your body. That way your blood flow is going to go through and you start thinking a little bit clearly. But the second big thing I would say is like, just put yourself in some sort of like appreciation kind of mindset, gratitude mindset, whatever you can. It's like, yo, like, oh, you go to the kitchen, you're like, oh, yo, I have a sick coffee machine. Oh, yo, I have like sick food to eat. Like just start putting yourself in like a better mindset. And then you could start thinking more clearly. Because I think if you're in this rut of like, oh, I'm stuck, I was scrolling on Instagram, oh, damn, bro, like this guy looked like he has a sick life. You're just going to be in this loop of negativity. So you got to first change your environment in a positive state. And then second thing, change your mindset in a positive state. And one thing that helps me is sometimes like, because it sounds kind of fluffy at times, like, oh yeah, I'm grateful for the shower. I'm grateful for this. But it's hard to feel it. So listen to some things, right? Like you can listen to Jay Shetty. You can listen to Lewis Howes. You can listen to a bunch of like Deepak Chopra. There's a bunch of meditations. Thing we were listening to beforehand, right? Go on YouTube, look up gratitude meditation. Right? I think there's some cheesy saying, bro. There's like, appreciation is the antidote to worry. I know it's mad cheesy, but anytime you're worrying, it's like, okay, like what do I actually appreciate though in my life? And then that'll start kickstarting our mindset to the right things.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like, okay, what is the next step? Like, what is the one thing I can do right now? Just walk outside. Or is it just pulling up to the gym? Or it's like calling a friend. It's like, okay, yo, like, let's go to the gym together. Or if it's business-wise, what do I need to do first? It's like, okay, go chat GPT business idea for my current business. It'll give you a whole business model. You won't have to think anything, right? And then that can give you step 1, step 2, step 3. But yeah, first it has to be the stuff that puts you in the right state. Then it's like, what can I do one thing? And then after that, just tell yourself it's going to be an everyday thing, but don't think about the big picture right away. Have the big picture in the back of your mind, but just think one day at a time. One day at a time. Can I win this day? Can I win this day? And then a book I would recommend on that is there's a book called Power of One More by Ed Milet.
Oh wow! I'll add it. I'm currently reading Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Nice.
That's the book. What was the book?
Power of One More.
Power
by Ed
of
Milet.
One More.
That one, and there's another book called The Magic of Thinking Big. So those two books combined will give you the magic of thinking big is going to first expand your mind to be like, wow, there's a lot of stuff out there. It's pretty sick. And then the power of one more is going to help you realize, okay, that big thing that I want or want to work towards, just one more. Just do one more today. There's one more today. And the example in the book he gives, this is probably the last point I'll make, is he was saying his dad was an alcoholic, right? And then one day he decided he was going to quit. And he always asked his dad, like, how'd you just do that? It's such a massive thing. And the dad was like, I don't know. One day I stopped. And the next day I was like, I'm just going to stop today. Third day I was like, I'm going to stop today. And now it's 30 years later, I haven't touched alcohol, right? So I just took it one day at a time, and then things start to happen.
Yo, man, like I really do appreciate having you here. Like you were awesome, man. Like I really do appreciate. We definitely have a lot to talk about, but I would definitely have to have you come back next year. Yeah. So I mean, guys, like, where can we find you?
Yeah, bro. So again, first off, thank you. Gratitude again. It's like having me here. And we've known each other for 5 years now. So it's always cool to see that you're still in the game. But yeah, thanks for having me. It was really fun. Where people can find me, Instagram, ROUNIT N, ROUNITN. YouTube, same thing. TikTok, same thing.
Well, you do YouTube now?
YouTube too, yeah. But that's where we post the podcast, bro. The Zoom podcast.
Oh, shit.
And I post some videos there too.
I've been seeing it on Instagram. I've not checked that. Oh, wow. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
ROUNIT N. Yeah, I got 1.6K subscribers, bro. Let's go. But yeah, that's where people can find me. Next year goal is on YouTube is 10K. I want to hit 10K subscribers on YouTube.
Holy moly, yo, he said it right here, man. He said it right here
happen.
first. Next year he's hitting 10K, man. Man, I gotta let you go.
Yeah.
I'll be definitely gonna see you back next year. I really appreciate you for coming in. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you've not subscribed to the channel, I want you to subscribe. Instagram is live behind the tapestry. Comment, share, whatever that you learned from this video, just comment down in the comment section video, and we're gonna see you in our next video. My name is Kwame, and God bless you. Bye bye.
Check him out, please. The gangster. All right, that's it.
Man,
I was sick.